52 years old, and I recently made the CrossFit semifinals in my age group. Top 200 out of 10,000 people in the world. It took me about 19 years of hard work to get here, trial and error, and having the time to do it. And I want to tell you that for a reason. I've been raising capital for over 19 years. That's 19 years of hard work and effort, just like CrossFit. And for the next hour, I'm going to share with you the tips and how I did that and how I achieved that. And you know what? It's a lot. It's a lot of little lessons that I do each and every day. It's a lot of sacrifice. The first year, there was a lot of work I put into it. If you're putting all this work into it, please don't expect a result right away. Let me bring it back to CrossFit, 19 years. Let's bring it back to the 30,000 investors I have. 19 years of hard work to do that. It takes time. Now, you're going to see a tremendous amount of effort that you have to put into doing this. You might see the J curve. You're not going to see, hey, it's going to go up a little steady each and every quarter or week or day or hour, the way you want to look at it. It's for those of you who want to stick the energy into the long game. It is a lot of work. And if you're expecting to be a 10 out of 10, that's not going to happen. I think it's more realistic is you're going to be a 7 out of 10, the best of all the different skills you're going to have to acquire. This goes back to kind of my childhood and the way I was raised. I was raised that everybody played sports, everyone got good grades, everyone was social, everyone had like a, good party in their backyard at that time period. It wasn't all about just being the best in one sport, and that's how I was raised. This could have came from my mom. She was kind of old-fashioned. She used the word renaissance, and I was good at a lot of things. Not great at one thing, but a good at a lot of things. And that's how kind of I approached, well, first of all, CrossFit, because there's a lot of events there. And if you get a 7 out of 10 out of 10 events, most likely you're going to be in first or second place. If you're 10 on one event and the rest are all ones, it's not going to work out. Granted, the guys are like, sometimes you get a 10, sometimes a 6, but it really averages out 7 out of 10. Whereas you want to be like a decathlete, right? That's usually how you approach it. That's the same thing with the skills that you'll need to develop. I like that word, develop, to be successful raising capital. 19 years. And I'm sharing this with you for a reason, right? It's time for me at this age to share it with you. And I'm at another pivot point in my life. I want to share that journey with you and what we're going to do, right? And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to dig down inside yourself if you want to stick that effort into developing yourself. Again, what skills do you need to be successful? I always call it that gap. The gap is where you think you are and where do you need to be and fill in that gap. We all are different people at the end of the day. Good stuff is now is, hey, I'd love to teach people. I love to share stories. The grind, the hard work, it is difficult. Picking up phone calls, things happen in different markets, dealing with previous investors, trying to get new investors, dealing with the economy, geopolitical situations, social media, world events, every second being thrown at you. So how do you develop skills? Now you have AI. Is AI working? Is it not working? Show me someone who's used AI to raise capital. So show me someone who's used AI and generated a profit. That's something I am very intrigued about. Also is, how's your company going to look years down the road? What if this is your last chance to raise capital, that last chance to do it from as a small business owner? Maybe down the road, the institutions own all the mechanisms and all the avenues, let's call it avenues, to raise capital. And this is your last hurrah right now to do it. What are you going to do about it? That's one of the reasons right now I'm really kind of leaning into this, because it could be the last hurrah. There's a lot of opportunities out there today. Market's high. There's distressed assets. When inflation's high, prices are down in some cases. Businesses, real estate, there's deals out there. So if you could raise capital today, you could set yourself up for the next 10 years. That's what I'm leaning into myself, how I'm raising capital today. I'm going to share that with you, share that story with you. Because if you want to bet on yourself, you're going to have to put the work in and to develop those skills. So we're talking about 19 years compounded each and every day, trying something, not working again, 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 again. Bing, again, 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 again. Bing, every day compounding, getting better. I have this thing: do, learn, grow. Try not to make the same mistake again. Right? I catch myself at times. I'm not perfect. There's the gap, and getting those feedback is good. Getting feedback is good. I'm not going to be say feedback is horrible, and my ego is going to be aware, and my hubris is out there. I like feedback, but I'm also very confident in myself. I know what I do works. I'm around 30. I have receipts. 30,000 investors, hundreds of millions of dollars real estate owned today, billions of dollars raised over time, billions of dollars of assets owned over time, over my 30 years being in business, 19 years of really raising capital. It's a long time. It's probably longer than 19 years of being 52. Learned 22, 23 years old. I learned how to do this stuff. Started my own company, over 20 years ago. And here we are today. And I like to use the 19 years. It's a nice number of just compounding again and again, things thrown at you again and again. Hey, what is it? Do you really want to learn and have that compounded growth? Talk about guys like who I'm impressed with is like, I'm impressed with Elon Musk. I'm impressed with like Peter Thiel. I'm impressed with Jeff Bezos. I'm impressed with Warren Buffett. I like to read behind the scenes to people who actually met them and get kind of the real world opinion on it. And you get to have conversations. I mean, I get in a room, I get to meet fantastic people all the time. I want to hear those real stories. So sometimes I got to get out from behind the camera, from social media, from reading stuff online and kind of get into it. And that's why I'm always interacting with other operators, people who are in the arena. I call it men. You hear people saying men in the arena. What they mean by that, people are in the game and facing those challenges again and again. Again, look at me right now. I am 52 years old. 3 weeks ago, just got out of CrossFit semifinals. So you're catching me in a good time period. How did I do that? It didn't happen overnight. I developed these habits of training and learning. And again, I have had all these obstacles along the way. I had different trainers and things. People tell me one thing. I kept going and learning and learning and learning. I'm still learning. I'm like, why didn't I get to the finals? Right. And I go, okay, this is not that good about you. As I was doing the events this year, great story. I came in heavy, was like 194 pounds, saw a picture of myself. I'm like, I don't look so good. 4 weeks, literally 2 weeks later, I dropped 10 pounds. A month later, I'm down 20 pounds. I advanced to quarterfinals, and then I advanced to semifinals. I got fit as it was going on, and I didn't make that many changes. I made a couple small tweaks to my nutrition, not nothing major. I cut meals, cut one meal a day, or the time of the meal. I had just made meals, and that was it. I wasn't having really that many cheat meals, so I just cut like an extra meal a day out. And then my motor was going. My motor was going really hard, and I was going into that uncomfortable space when I felt like my breath was going to give out, and I had this little thing in my heart like heaving. And I was just like, I'm going to go through that, and I went through that uncomfortable space. So I did. So I was pushing myself an extra 10%, and I was around the best in the world, which pushes you even more. So all those things combined, my motor's on fire right now. Now, actually, I'm having trouble like maintaining weight. I'm eating. And I'm like, I'm still doing that, like not eat after 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock thing. Shake bar or something small, not like a huge meal. And I'm actually like, now I got to gain some weight back because I know my weakness. But that's a whole another story. What I'm talking about is compounded, because all this stuff came from years and years and years of learning about nutrition, about how your body recovers. Freaking have a sauna and an ice bath in the backyard. I know certain days I do it, the next day I'm dehydrated. I don't perform as well, so I make sure to do it at night, and the next day maybe it's a light day, because when I do it and it's a heavy day, I feel myself a little drained. I didn't know that was happening, but that's one of the things I learned. People are telling you 3 days a week, 4 days a week is good for mental health. For me, yeah, maybe I did it in the beginning. I was just kind of intrigued about it, the challenge, but not really for mental health for me. It's more for my body. I was doing it for my body, for recovery. And, sometimes, I'm an off day. I need to go in and it kind of straightens me out, but it's usually that mind body connection for me. Mainly it's the recovery. And I got to make sure the next day I'm not doing a heavy workout. I feel dehydrated in 220 degrees for 20 minutes in a sauna. That's a lot. That's a lot out of your body. And so I have to hydrate a lot with electrolytes. Learned to use more electrolytes. I learned what to do, how I do. I started doing, I did a fast, 3-day fast. Came back, I used to do coffee with a ghee, butter in it, and boom, I wanted to throw up right after the fast. It went back to my coffee, stuck it in a blender, had it with a ghee, horrible tasting. I was like, what happened? I've been doing this for 2 years. Did this fast, got it out of my system. If you haven't done a fast before, I tried Gary Brecka's thing out. I was seeing Gary Brecka everywhere, so I figured, let me try him out. And I did his fast for 3 days. Was fine. I didn't get headaches. I didn't really get lightheaded. I drank a lot of water. I used his electrolytes, and I had black coffee. So I made it 3 days, and it was great. I didn't do it really for weight loss. I did it to reset myself. So I kind of reset myself, and then I started training. And one of the things I didn't know in this time period, I had never weighed myself during it, is now I started weighing myself after the events. Is one thing I would change. Is hey, I'd weigh myself too and see how that affected me, because I think you're going to get this water weight off your body. But anyway, that's another story. I'm going on a tangent. I'm talking about 19 years of compounding effort and trial and error. That's where I am today. That's why I look fit today, and that's where I am. Now, I do the same thing with capital raising, same thing with growing a business, same thing with kind of meeting people. And it's like, you get these events coming all the time. Look at the last 5 or 6 years. Things are changing. We're in a different market today. How do I do it? Well, you're going to have to lean into it, right? There is certain things that you are going to have to do, certain skills you're going to have to acquire. You're going to have to learn how to talk to people with money. You're going to have to learn different investors and how they act. You're going to learn how to ask the right questions. You're going to have to learn how to listen. You're going to have to learn when to call someone, when to email. Does email work? Does a text work? Does AI work? You have to learn all of these things today. Do you need to use social media? Do you not use no social media? Are your customers on Instagram? Are they offline? Do you have to meet them face to face? Well, we're going to have to figure this out, right? Because I will help you do this. I will coach you through this. I have done this, right? I always find the easiest path forward, right? What's the easiest path forward for you, right? What is that for you at the end of the day? Well, one, you got to develop the skills. You got to take care of yourself. KYC, right? Know your customer. KYS, know your shit, right? And get to know yourself. You got to figure out those gaps. Where do you think you are? And how do we improve upon that? Now we're talking about why today, Craig? Why are you doing this today at 52 years old? Why today? So today I see a great opportunity. The market is distressed. You can buy distressed assets. Cash is king. Institutions are playing a game. They're making so much money. They're trading crazy stuff. It's all incestual. What's going on with AI, what's going on with oil, what's going on with this administration. So how do we take advantage of it? Well, if you could raise capital, you could buy distressed assets, whether it's a business. And, if you're going to buy a business, that's something else we have to unpackage, because your operation experience, you want to buy a business and all the employees leave. So that's another thing we could talk about, right? But really is just buying assets, right? Buying distressed assets. And if you buy right, it's easy. So how do you accumulate wealth? Well, like for me, I think there's differences between an owner-operator versus like a passive owner. And again, it's up to you, and we could talk that through. But right now, I see a great opportunity that sets me up for my entire life, but more than my entire life, for my family, for the next generation, for my legacy. And that's about today, going in each and every day. So right now, I'm raising capital to buy distressed assets. If you have cash, you could buy stuff 30 to 50 cents on the dollar. It's everywhere. I see it. I have access to it. If you have money, give me a call. I'll hook you up, right? At the same time, I know where the deals are. There's deals out there. You probably have deals and don't have the money. So you need to go get the money. You need to go get the money, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm going to get the money. How I'm doing it? Easy. Got all this experience, over 19 years of experience doing this. Trial and error. This is what works, doesn't work. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, okay, but I got to remember, I have this knowledge. What worked, what didn't work. How do we change this? How do we do this? This is what's working. This is what's not working. Yes, there's a lot of stuff online. It's moving really fast, and these tools are fantastic. but there's the basics too. There's the 19 years. You know what? Let me get rid of that word, the basics. There's the 19 years of trial and error. So those are the little angles, tactical adjustments, and day-to-day iterations you need to be successful. Now, if you start out, it's not going to happen overnight. And if you want to do this in a year, like 1 year, and you have a 1 year window, do it. I have this window. My window is this year. This is it. Boom. This is it. This is 1 year. It's going to set me up for the next 10. Maybe I'll do a little bit longer, but this is really 1 year. It's going to set me next for the next 10 years. So yeah, it's a little pressure, but that's okay. But if you're going to do it, you could do it with me, right? We could do this together. And it's one step at a time here, right? And I think there's great opportunities out there, and here's the time to do it. You know how many times I get DM'd a day? Craig, do you have capital for my deal? Do you have my capital for my deal? No, I'm doing capital for my own deals. So, not your deals, my deals. I will help you with your deals. You could partner with me on deals, right? We could do it together. But this is where I am, because this is where I can make a legacy for me and my family. It is really, at the end of the day, to me, is a great, great opportunity. I'm betting on myself. I have the receipts. I've done it before, right? So, again, I'm 52 years old, right? I'm this CrossFit athlete. I'm a successful capital raiser, and the habits that I've learned, the skills I've acquired over the years, it's compounds again and again and again and again. Same thing when it comes to capital raising, right? And it's just hard work at the end of the day and how you do things. The opportunity is everywhere to do things. Like, okay, I'm going to give you some secrets right now. Hey, so you're going out to capital raise. What are you going to do? What are you going to sell? Okay, I'm going to locate this distressed asset. I'm putting together a pro forma. How do I put together a pro forma? Just ask Claude, how do you put together a pro forma, right? You could use this tool to kind of really set up a good outline for yourself. I would not use it too much to architect strategy, but redefine a strategy you have. I have great strategies. I put it in there and it spits it out, and then I give it to people. So that's how it works for me. We're talking today about something, and we need to organize some stuff. And I know how to organize, put it in, it spit it out. So when I know how to use it and prompt it, it spits out great stuff that I get to share with other people. But today, I'm telling you, you got to ask, and who today has money? Who in this market will invest with you? Who's investing, right? Are they online? Where are they hanging out? Are they hanging out online? Who's investing? Where are they hanging out? Then how do you communicate with them? Pretty simple. Who's investing today? Where are they hanging out? How to communicate with them? Do you have a product they want to buy? Why you? 5 questions, right? Why you? Why you at the end of the day? So you see, you got to package all that together. Well, there is professional investors out there, and they might be very hungry. They may want they want to take advantage of this stuff, right? They want great returns. They know the game. So you're going to have to kind of give them more than just a taste. You're going to have to give them some meat in that deal. They're professional. They want something better, something juicier. Maybe juicier gave them 10%, they want 15. Maybe you gave them 15, they want 20. So you have to find something out there that you have a little meat to feed yourself at the same time. You got the average, you got the retail investor. To him, I break down buckets. Maybe their acumen, financial acumen is there, right? Okay, so their acumen's there. They're probably smart enough to say, I want a deal too. So give them something, but make sure it's just enough meat for yourself to feed yourself. Usually there is. It's not going to be how it used to be, where it's it's a straight return. They're going to want a little more right now because they're smart. Now you're going to get some people who haven't done this before, and that's where you probably can make the terms more favorable for yourself. Are they going to trust you, right? So who are they? Well, do they have a lot of money coming in? Because someone who doesn't have a lot of money, it's got to be exciting for them. It's got to be an explosive offer. That word came from a mentor of mine, content guy, about, hey, Craig, it's got to be an explosive offer. So it's got to be an explosive offer for them to kind of trust you, to get through the door first, so you could earn their trust, right? So that's what it's got to be for someone. But then if you find somebody who has money coming in all the time, you could generally meet in the middle and have a good conversation with them. And if it's a reasonably good return, they probably want diversification with the product you're selling. So those tidbits are powerful because you could break those down, and now you could take that and you could give that to Claude and give you a whole plan. But when they start talking to you and there's all these nuances, that ain't gonna help you. I can help you with those nuances. How do they do this, do that, do this, do that? I'm doing it all too. I'm iterating. It's a good thing. Like, hey, I could email as many people as I want to email. I could call with 10 different phone numbers at the end of the day. I could text you. If you're a customer, I could use AI text, right? If you opt into stuff, I have AI callers. I'm doing all of this stuff, and I love it. I'm learning all this new stuff today, and I have the flavor of all my experiences. So how do you compete with a guy against me who's got all this experience, and then I'm using all the new tools? There's probably people out there maybe there's some people out there with this experience, but this is why I like it, because I get to go in the game again. Look, I like competition. Obviously, I like competition just coming out of CrossFit. This is why I'm doing it too, because the excitement of this is really exciting for me today to do this stuff. And people are saying, "Hey, Craig, why are you doing this again at your age?" Well, this is the time to do it, and I want to do it. I want to really just have a legacy for myself of buying a lot of assets, raising a lot of money, and then sharing it with other people along this. Now there's a cost again to it, and there's always the cost when you're working hard. I got 3 daughters at the end of the day, and it's tough. My oldest is going to college, and I'm gonna see her off. I don't get to be around them because I'm now not only am I raising capital, and I just got out of the CrossFit competitions, but also I'm leaning into AI and the new techniques. I have to grow myself. I have to learn and fail and iterate again and again and have that compound effect. In a year now, I'm a world-renowned expert in how to use AI to run a business. That's my goal. So every single day I'm learning AI again and again and again and again, and just leaning into it. And how can I make this more efficient with AI? How can I do this? How could I use this? How do I do my own? What can Claude do? What could Perplexity do? What could OpenAI do? Right? What could Grok do? What's Gemini doing? How do I use all these tools? What's the difference? Do I have to create my own? Right? Do I have to have how much energy does this take to run? Do my computers have enough power to analyze the data I need to analyze? What are all the rules and regulations going on? How do I get data? How much does a person charge for data? When could I use data? When could I text somebody with AI? Do people really want an AI text? When could I call them with AI? But does my customer want me to be called with AI? These are all the things I'm learning in real time, real fast. And what I know today, tomorrow's better. The next day. We're doing this campaign right now. Every day I go down and I go, okay, what's the hole? What's the hole? What's the hole? And every day we get better at it. And I think one of the holes today, we're looking at it, and it was something with like, there's bots out there. So how do we know some of our metrics are right? Because there's bots, fake bots out there. And I think one of it was like email opens were like enormous. I was like, is that real or is that a bot? And so now we have like 2 different email servers were sent off, and one's Amazon, I forget the other company, and just to measure them back and forth, which one's the accurate numbers. And if that doesn't work, we'll try something else, right? And so we need the accurate numbers to see what's actually going on. What are people reading? Every day we're doing this, and then once we get that, we're like, okay, let's try this. We try this. What can AI do? What can it do without us doing this stuff? We're doing it. What does it do? What do we have to trigger it to do, or what kind of data do we have to give it? And we're iterating again and again. Every day we're getting better. Are you? This is how we're going to achieve a result. This is how we're going to get there. I mean, we have like millions of people on our database, so it's fortunate, but now it's like, do I have the right data on them, right? So I got to figure out, do I have the right data? How do I enrich that data? Okay, so this is what I'm doing today. This is how I'm learning. And then again, there's a cost to it because this takes a lot of time. I was like, I'm working 3 jobs, CrossFit, and can still do that, by the way. And then I got, just raising capital and learning AI at the same time. So there's cost to it. And I enjoy it, right? But are you going to put that energy and effort into it? Because I am still not around for my daughters as much as I can be. I see this opportunity. This is what it takes. This is the cost to learn this stuff. So if you're really going to dedicate yourself to it and they say, hey, I'm going to have this work-life balance, if you want that, that's okay, right? I don't see how that's going to happen. I don't see how you're going to have a work-life balance, learn how to do a new skill that's going to compound, because you need to sacrifice now for the future. Because in 10 years, if you do this today, you have all the time in the world. Most people are just going to end up doing something else, right? Or successful. You'll have all the time in the world. But the cost is maybe your kid's childhood. Going to the kid's baseball game, doing something. You might think there's compromise, but there isn't at the end of the day. I don't think so. Because if you're not doing it, someone else out there is doing it. And the business world doesn't wait. Someone smarter, faster, more resourced, how are you going to make it up? So, love to hear how you do it. Maybe what you could do is, give a piece away to somebody. There's a way to do it, but I don't know. At the end of the day, it's a tough thing. But that's the cost. And then the other cost is which is going to that uncomfortable place, going to that area where you haven't done it before, right? And that creates anxiety in people, discomfort. That's where the growth comes in. This is all new. And so and that's when you see people getting all emotional and getting pissy and negative because they're scared. They're scared. They have anxiety, so they lash out at people. People are scared today. They're not comfortable. You're going to have to learn to embrace that discomfort because it takes time. It takes dedication. It takes effort to do it. You're not going to see a result. You got to show up again and again and again. I'm like a broken record. But hey, this is the cost. This is what happens. And yeah, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it just takes time to do this stuff, right? So again and again and again, it takes time to do these things. And one day, usually it works out. So it just takes some time, and it takes iteration and learning again and again and again. But you have this kind of J curve at the end. You have this success. I mentioned before a couple things about being a 7 out of 10. And yeah, you're going to have to learn you're not going to be great at every skill. You want to get good at a lot of different skills, whether maybe you have to learn about public speaking, presentation, a lot of these things I think that really require a lot of time. That's where you can use the AI. The presentations, that's good. Now it's getting better with design. Design is my weakness. I'm horrible at design. I am good with everything except design. I hate design. I really have the passion. I'm like, okay, how do I make this like nice little thing here? No, that's not me. Everything else, that's fine, but that thing just kind of suddenly shuts me down. You can move at an incredible speed to learn quickly, so you can do it, but each and every day you do it. And then the human element, right? You're going to need to develop, we're talking about raising capital. You're going to need to develop people skills. There's no if, ands, or what's about it. You're going to have to develop. Why you? Do you have that it factor? You're going to have to develop. You're going to have to learn what makes you special. Why you at the end of the day? Why should someone trust you? I mean, that's just part of it. And then you got to lean in that uncomfortable space. Might be some trial and error. Maybe some of you are naturally gifted. You get it right off the bat. You're going to make mistakes. And if some of you aren't and you want it bad enough, go hire a coach. Go hire a public speaking coach. I'm sitting there one day. I wanted to get one to learn some techniques, to get better at things. I get a phone, call a guy up. I was like, hey, before I give you my credit card, can you tell me, what's the curriculum like? And the guy's like, oh, you just got it. And he's like, I don't think you're good for me. And then he gives me some other guy's number. I'm like, I don't know what that was about. I was just asking you for some directions. Is what am I going to get? The next thing I know, I call another guy up. He didn't even know him, got him off the internet. And this guy's pretty well known. And a week later, I'm at his house in outside Minnesota. It's outside Minneapolis in it was Prairie Hills, Minnesota. Never went to Minneapolis before. Nice airport. And get out there. I'm in his house learning how to public speak in a room with strangers taking a course. I'm like, oh. I was so uncomfortable. I was sweating. But by the end of 3 days, I got it. I understood it. There was a science to it. And I really enjoyed it. It had to deal with storytelling and this science and how it all came together. I'm like, wow. And then I was like, okay, this is great. So I went through that really uncomfortable space of just talking in a room of strangers and came out understanding a little bit more about myself and how to tell a story at the end of the day. So the story for me, for you, is just, hey, it compounds. Look, the fitness, look, the receipts that I got with my success raising capital. Look at me today. I'm doing it again. I'm starting from scratch. Not only from scratch, but I'm raising capital for some funds right now in this market where everyone's concerned, where a lot of people didn't make so much money in the last market cycle, with a lot of retail investors on the sidelines. I'm going in full board here right now. Challenge you to do the same thing as well. And I'm telling you, it's going to cost me something. It's going to cost me time with some of my kids' events. Probably won't see my daughter off to school in August. I'm trying to get up there to live. I got stuff to do. I got to get done, right? It's the cost. It's the cost of I got 3 girls, and I don't show up for everything because I have to build AI in my company before it's too late, before someone else builds it in their company. I got to get my company ahead to the next level before a competitor comes in. That's normal when you own a business. If you do not stay up to standards with your business, with technology, someone else will come in and defeat you. I just read the story about Toys R Us. Very interesting. And how Jeff Bezos got him to use this platform. But behind the scenes, they had a non-compete. And then he was able to, Jeff was gathering all the data, how to service and distribute the toys through his platform, and he was taking on other toy companies at the same time. And eventually, they parted ways, and Toys R Us had a lawsuit, and they were successful against them, but they were out of business because they couldn't build an infrastructure. Jeff built this whole infrastructure up. They could sell toys from any manufacturer. Toys R Us was awesome as a kid. Now, my kids don't get to go in that store and just be like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing on the planet. As a kid, it's the greatest store on the planet. They go to Amazon for everything, but Toys R Us had a special effect. So if your business doesn't keep up and gets distracted by something, and I know we're all, the lawsuit thing's always funny because you're in this lawsuit because you're pointing fingers. But at the end of the day, are you building something? Because that will pass, right? Someone will win, someone will lose, but one party is usually building something and they don't care. And it's like, here's a little bit of money. Here's a couple of $1 million. I'm a $1 trillion business, right? Amazon's like billions of dollars. What, you want a couple million? Who cares? Didn't affect them. So maybe that was the plan all along, Jeff, right? You're smart. You kind of have a distribution system. You start selling up their other toys. You promised them they'd be the only ones selling on your platform. You learned what the consumers wanted at the end of the day. You learned how to market the consumers. You learned how to distribute the consumers. They didn't. When they won the case against you, they had the money, but they were too far behind to compete with you, and you put them out of business. That's a fact. Same with Netflix, did the Blockbuster. Who else is out there going to do it? I don't know. I always thought like grocery stores was something like that. I had an idea to do online grocery stores in college. It was 30 years ago with a friend of mine. We didn't end up doing it, but Amazon, you have Amazon Fresh now. I still think people go to the store. I don't think they've really. I think they still have a great opportunity there. My idea 30 years ago was you put in what nutritionally you want in your foods, and it gives you a list, and then it delivers those foods. Like, I need more calcium, vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin B, and it pulls up the foods that are rich in this. You choose which ones you want, and then it gets delivered. That was the idea. So I don't know. You could take it. I don't have time to do it. Here's an idea to do it. But, at the end of the day, again, right now there is great opportunities, and the cost is opportunities. And, big thing is accountability too. How are you going to hold yourself accountable? Every day? I like to do it every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year. Choose one metric. What's that one metric? What's that one metric? And choose it and just hit it. So go one metric. Let's go 1 quarter, 1 year. What is that? And just strive to get that. Give yourself time. The daily stuff is okay. I just hey, for me, daily is hey, what did I do yesterday? What could do better today? That's kind of what I do on a daily basis. And then, hey, I kind of look at the goal. What's my goal by the end of the year? How I'm going to do it, and break it down parts and pieces and how to get there. And that's how I do things. And there's one metric. So just one metric per quarter, because you're just starting out doing this, and say, hey, maybe it's I'm going to raise $100,000 from one person never did it before. Okay, hold yourself accountable to that. So that means every day, you got to do every day, 110%, trial and error, do everything you can so that end of the quarter, you hit that metric. Not one metric, maybe it's talking to 10 people, 10 millionaires. I don't know. And just every day work on that and get there and hold yourself accountable. You have to hold yourself accountable here. There's no excuses. If you really want to be great, you got to hold yourself accountable. There are so many distractions out there. Accountability is key. Accountability is key here, right? So, you have to hold yourself accountable. I just think you hold yourself accountable, you'd be great at anything in life. It's no one else's problem. It's your problem. If you allow that person to affect your goals, that's you. It's always up to you. Granted, some strategies involved, but you got to hold yourself accountable. So I challenge you to do that. If you're out there trying to raise capital right now, hold yourself accountable to do it, to raise some capital. That's it. I mean, it's not a hard thing to do. Hey, again, it's all about receipts, man. I got them. I've been doing this. 30,000 customers and counting. Doing this 52 years old. Doing it for over 30 years. Billions of dollars raised. And I'm doing it again. Again, stripping down, doing it. Doing a new fund. Have a good fund right now. I've done what I said I was going to do. I've democratized it. Do I want to do it again? Probably not. It's like the micro investor client world is not that appealing to me. I like the investment world. So maybe I jump into the institutional world, man. I like the technology. I'm fascinated with technology. I'm building out technology right now. I am going to build out so much technology to make it simple at the end of the day. But I do understand raising capital has a lot to do with people at the end of the day. And I'm a people person. And so I want people who have their hard-earned cash or really trust me to be able to talk to me. And I enjoy that. So that's where I'm at with things. And then as far as I love technology and love investment platforms, I have all this knowledge and with the micro investors and how that works. I kind of like to talk to my investors, and it's tough to talk to 30,000 investors at the same time. So you can use my experience there and build out a platform for everyone to use based on my experiences, from governance to compliance, for regulators, for reporting, for investor relations, for customer service. 100,000 transactions. I know what I'm doing. I know what people like, and I know how you iterate that too. So a lot of experience there. A lot of stories, and it's up to you. It's like, again, you choose your investor type, and I'll give you some recommendations of how to communicate with them. Who has the receipts? I have those receipts and how to do it. And it's okay, now my next endeavor is to take some of my cohorts that I've made money with, and it's like, let's make money in this market. And then I'm going to take all my knowledge of servicing people and different investors and build out a platform and give it to all you guys so you guys could use it to help your businesses out. That's what I'm doing here. So I'm going to hold myself accountable to that. So, it's just, it's just raising capital at the end of the day. And it gets easier. And I'm not going to use the word easy. It's going to be uncomfortable for you. It's just going to you are going to have to learn each and every day, and it compounds, and you get better and better and better. And then eventually you're going to see all the success. And I can say that because it's happened to me. Nose to the grindstone, get right now, every single day, stick your effort into it, and the results will come. Enjoy the process. Stick yourself, make sure that stick yourself, I call it, in the arena, in the game, right? Learn how to do it, and you'll have a result. Today, remember, there's a cost to it because it's going to take a lot of effort, a lot of time. When you're not natural this way, you're going to figure out the gaps and the skills you have to develop. Because what if you have like 7 skills and you need to bring them all up to level 7? That's a lot of work. That's a lot of time. You're going to have to lean into it and do it. And that's how you're going to be successful to do it. And then you get there. Yeah, it will pay off dividends for you. But there's going to be sacrifices. There's going to be cost, your time, maybe your family, maybe maybe this is something that puts pressure on your wife. You're going to learn a lot of things long as it's about yourself. Do you really want it? Are you going to be comfortable, the discomfort and the uncertainty that comes with it, the sweat. I got to close a deal in a week and I don't have the money. That's a difficult thing. How many times do you have deadlines to get the money by? I live by that, right? And I was getting that done. So, I got the receipts. I would raise money and get it done in 3 days. That's the time I had. I had pressure on me, but I got it, right? How did I do it? I learned how to do it. So, again, got to hold yourself accountable. You got to learn. And it is something that's going to be fascinating. And, I don't know, thinking back, it's like looking at all the stories where I was raising money for other people's projects, my own projects. We had deadlines to close the escrow all the time. And so you kind of know how to scale, your first couple ones before me. Again, I'm just lean into things, and I just have utmost faith in myself. I got in the game. I learned my funding sources. I knew how to get deals done. I kept doing them again and again and again and again. And then I saw a pattern. Once I saw a pattern, okay, I did it again. And then I developed a system. And then with that system, I knew a product I could sell. I had both ends. If I'm raising capital for someone else or I'd raise capital for my own projects, I created a system. I created a pipeline. I knew what people would buy. I knew what I could sell them. Did it again. And then also realized, hey, some of my clients that were happy, I'd upsell them. Did it again. Market changed. Some things happened. I spoke with my clients, made sure they were taken care of, both sides, right? If someone lost some money, I made sure, was it me? Was it the market? Sat down and had conversations. Markets came back. People were liquid. Did it again. Repeat, rinse, learned, how to fund things in certain time, put things in escrow, again, needed money for a company to build, needed money for a business to buy, went out there, solicited, called people up, got it done again and again and again. Geez, you know how many times I've done that? It's like, okay, I need to raise this much in this amount of time. Again, we keep talking about all the people I raised money to, but what about these hard dates that I had to get it done? I got it done. Who you gonna talk to? How do you develop that? So how do you develop this stream of just money coming in again and again, right? So I had this product that people liked, and I knew where to find the people who bought the product. So I just different stuff them in a pipeline, talked to them, and moved on, right? And there are certain parts in the market, and this was easier. Earlier years, it was just I could find them offline a lot, right? When this online world, offline I knew who they were, right? I knew they were like a doctor or something, or I just knew who they were, or I found an investment they did before and sold in the same type of investment with a different flavor. Now today, you have all this data, you have all these sources, right? So, a lot of people are using LinkedIn to source people, but DMing someone from a LinkedIn, as much as an introduction, is a little bit stronger, right? Or for me, making a phone call directly was okay. Today, I made a phone call to a guy I haven't talked in 10 years. It's Craig. How you doing? Seeing if you're still investing. Hey, Craig, how you doing? Last week, called a guy, 15 years. Hey, Craig, how you doing? His name was Craig. Great. You still investing? Yeah. My son's investing too. Why don't you give him a call? Okay. That's how simple it is, right? Granted, I have this staying power. I've talked to people, but that's pretty. It's as easy as it is. Or if you don't person, Jim, how you doing? It's Craig. I'm just calling to see if you're investing stuff. Got a second to talk about it. Who are you? Craig. Got a product to sell. Interested in it. It's very simple. I didn't need them to click on something. I didn't need them to open 5 emails or hang out on the landing page or see all these Facebook retargeting ads. I don't know. I just call people, or I call people up and got you know of anyone. I find someone out, hey, who has cash, maybe a liquidity event. Hey, heard you sold something. Maybe you want some play some cash in my investment. I'm not bashful. Cold calling's good. You can do it for the rest of my life. It's fine. Christ, I met Jordan Belfort. Guy knows how to sell, right? So, I know sales a little bit, but that's not even sales. It's not really sales. You're offering someone an opportunity. And it's a mental thing. It's in your head. You have something to offer someone. Why shouldn't they have a conversation? Oh, they don't trust me. They don't know me. They haven't clicked the emails. They don't have the 11 hours of digesting my content or the 4 trust buckets. I'm like, okay, what? How about conversation? Just be real. Be nice. Talk to them. Then afterwards, just ask them. How do you get to trust me? And first of all, you can meet me in person. It's fine. Do that. I'm far away. Let's get in a video. I'll give you all this information. Let me Google you. Okay. It's like, I'm going to go watch the media and it's going to give me fake news. You're going to go online and you're going to find the truth about me? Probably not. But then every marketing person on the face of the planet is going to be out there telling you all this stuff. You have to go online. But if everything's fake online, how do people understand you're real or not fake? And they just, okay, I'm going to turn this off. Right? So do you need a brand? Yeah, a brand helps. But still just kind of just having a conversation with someone. Because, I think it's simple at the end of the day. You just got to keep it easy for people, right? So, okay, let's talk about this. Getting a brand for yourself. Yeah, I think you should do a brand. I think you should get out there and get your narrative out there. But realize that, people are smart. They understand that is if it's over the top, or it just depends on who you're getting money from. It just has to be enough, and just need to have a conversation at the end of the day, because a lot of stuff online, people are going to see that it's how you handle yourself. So it's like how you respond to people. It's how you're portraying yourself. So people are looking, but don't think they're looking for everything to be perfect, because they'll see through it. They're just looking how you react to things. And if you react in a professional manner, in a manner with values, and just civil, being civil, most likely, if there's good or bad about you, you'll be okay online. That's just my personal opinion. There's so much fake stuff out there, but people are going to be so scared of that, they're going to want to meet face to face. So if you're already taking that journey out there and maybe doing whatever it is, it's hard when someone's out of the area. Again, right? So the micro investors come from a lot of stuff that they read online. Oh, it's good. Click a button. Boom, 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 boom. But talking about seriously raising capital, you're going to have to shake some hands. I think today's market, you're going to have to shake some hands to do it, which is okay. So that's not too hard to do. That's just my opinion on how things are. Got to hold yourself accountable, right? You got to hold yourself accountable to learning. And, I was going to say something about another story I had about, raising capital. And, I always hear people like, well, this, I'm like, if you're calling the wrong person, it's not my fault. Call the right person up. There's plenty of people out there. And how bad do you want it? How bad do you really want it? If you really want it bad enough, you'll make it happen. Hold yourself accountable for it. That's the way it works. I love all these when you scale though, and how I was able to get to that level, you got to build a system. So that's what it teaches, how to build systems. So you can do all this. Yeah, that's the warm-up stage, kind of calling, getting people in your tribe, getting that going. But eventually you're going to have to build a system out to do it systematically. And that's always raising capital when you don't need it, having all the time, meeting people, shaking hands, just talking about your accomplishments, getting referrals consistently again and again and again. And then you can make it happen. So, again, at the end of the day, you got to hold yourself accountable. I am getting after it right now. I'm 52 years old, on a new fund, going to raise a bunch of money this year. Hey, join me. Let's talk about it. DM me. Love to share stories. Love to help you out. Love to talk to other operators. Remember, you're going to have to put the energy and effort into it. It's a compounded effort. I'm excited to get going. Let's do this together. DM me. Talk to you soon.